the Abby Award-winning Auburn-Opelika This Morning on News Talk, WANI, part of the Auburn Network family of stations.
Auburn City Council will meet tonight at 7 o'clock, actually, during its Committee of the Whole. That will include a public safety building tour starting at 6, and then the Committee of the Whole meeting starting at 6:45. Joining us this morning, at least partially, or at least part of the time, on the WANI hotline is Auburn Mayor Bill Ham. Mayor Ham, good morning.
Good morning, Andy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself? Give us a traffic report this morning.
Well, as you know, Andy, Moores Mill Road and the Moores Mill Bridge are a little disfigured at this point because of the construction of the Moores Mill Bridge, but it is moving, and it's not very rapidly, but it is moving. And
I guess, is there some crane work being done this morning? Is that right?
Yeah, they're setting up on the interstate, Andy, have been pouring pads. Some of the work that we talked about a few weeks ago that had added cost to that project is that they will have to pour pads for the stone while they sit in the median and work to put preformed concrete in place for the new bridge section. So a lot of setup going on there, and obviously it affects not only the interstate but the traffic above as well.
All right. Well, be safe coming in this morning. All right.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about the pre-meeting tonight, and it all starts at 6 o'clock as the council will get a tour of the public safety building. Mayor, talk about the reason for that tour and what the council and what the city is hoping to get out of that tour this evening.
And it's going to give if you remember, we've been talking for some time about reconfiguring, at least temporarily, public safety police. We've talked about possibilities at Boykin, and we've talked about a number of different issues. And currently, we've been having a needs assessment study done for that facility, and this will give the council an opportunity to see just what the needs are with the building, and just what's being talked about when they get the full report from the architects and engineers on the needs assessment.
In talking with Charlie Duggan, Auburn's city manager, just a few weeks ago, when this was kind of halted, at least for the time being, until this study could be done, I guess it was kind of going back to the drawing board on this as to whether you build a brand new building there or what you do to that building. Is anything closer to coming to a decision on exactly what will be done with regard to the public safety building there on Ross?
Well, this tour and the needs assessment is part of that process, but Charlie's just wanting to make absolutely sure that we don't spend any money unnecessarily.
All right. Auburn Mayor Bill Ham, our guest. He will join us in the studio during our next segment on Auburn-Opelika This Morning. We'll have more after this. Please stay tuned. Auburn Mayor Bill Ham in our studios right now on Auburn-Opelika This Morning. Welcome. Glad to have you here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
A little bit more about the public safety building. When do you think, Mayor, that a decision will be made on how you're going to move forward with regard to that, and then we'll move on to the agenda?
Well, Andy, this is all. Last night was our first night. We met from 5:30 to 9 on the first night of our biennial budget process, and this is all a part of that as well, to try to decide going forward on capital needs and projects, where an expansion or redevelopment of public safety fits in. Obviously, if you look at expenditures, public safety, police, and fire is way up on the list of our expenditures and our priorities. So we want to, without question, give our public safety police division what's needed. We're going to look at the Fire Station 1 tonight as well. Been there a long time, Andy. It needs some upgrades, and there are some proposals for that coming from, and I haven't seen them, and they hadn't been presented to the council yet as to what the engineers and architects are proposing, but it would incorporate some changes of Fire Station 1 there. So a lot of potential development in city services and buildings for the council to look at in the upcoming budgetary process.
In your mind, is this the next major capital building project for the city of Auburn?
Andy, I would tell you, as far as bricks and mortar, yes, we have to meet some needs for public safety police. You know, we continue to hire more police to patrol and protect our community. We're in the midst of a new expanded venture with Auburn University. We're gearing up for that. So I would say that yes, public safety police is on the top of the list as far as bricks and mortar, and then we have a lot of infrastructure needs that we will continue to discuss and hear about. And then, as you know, we've been in the middle of an assessment and needs process for parks and recreation. So while that may not actually be bricks and mortar, it may be more fields and outdoors. There's still lots of necessities there too.
All right. Also on the committee of the whole agenda tonight, a discussion. Councilperson Dawson wanting to discuss the constant, that's constant as in the family constant,
Right.
The constant property discussion. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we did, Andy, and it's you know, it comes down to a zoning issue, and they're really good folks, and I wish we had an easy solution. But certainly they have requested the council to look at de-annexation on their property, and the council will have to make a decision on whether that makes sense or not.
All right. So in the Plainsman this morning that they're reporting that Uber will be operational as early as Thursday. Can you confirm that, Mayor?
That is what Uber has told us, and they want to do a promotional kickoff, if you will, on Thursday afternoon. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Of course, the council will meet this evening at 7 o'clock. You've got a couple of announcements with regard to two different agencies and board vacancies this evening, Mayor.
We do, Andy. We've got a couple of vacancies coming up. One on the Lee County Youth Development Center. Sheriff Jay Jones serves in that role right now, and he has served 2 terms. And then we have 2 spots. Actually, we have 3 vacancies announced on the Industrial Development Board. One of those 3, Andy, has only served 1 term, and the other 2 have served 2 terms.
Okay. We had Clifford Jones in the studio yesterday with Greater Peace Missionary, but he will be roasted on Thursday for the Greater Peace Community Development Corporation.
Absolutely, and golly, Clifford, what a great guy. And unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town Thursday. Clifford offered me the opportunity as well. I've still got a few grill marks from last year where Gary and I were roasted, but certainly a great cause, and Clifford's done a great job not only with the church but with the youth facilities and the youth programs there. So I urge anyone to either help out in any way they can on Clifford's efforts.
Auburn Mayor Bill Ham, our guest on News Talk WANI, will continue to look at tonight's agenda for the Auburn City Council when we come back after your weather. Please stay tuned. In a few moments with Auburn Mayor Bill Ham, the Auburn Council again will meet in Committee of the Whole tonight. Actually, at 6 o'clock, they will take a tour of the Public Safety Building on North Ross Street. Also, Fire Station number 1 this evening. Then we'll go to their Committee of the Whole at 6:45. The regular meeting begins tonight at 7 o'clock. Under resolutions, Mayor, and we've talked with Mayor Fuller about this the last couple of weeks. The city of Opelika, of course, is staunchly against a methadone clinic opening in Opelika. When Mayor Fuller was on with us 2 weeks ago, he said they're not only pushing for no methadone clinic in Opelika, he says they're pushing for no methadone clinic in Lee County. And the city tonight will consider a resolution, I guess, to join in that same effort. Is that accurate?
It is, Andy. Mayor Fuller contacted me a couple of months ago regarding this specific request, and our resolution is that we're asking the council to appropriate no more than or an amount not greater than $25,000 to join Opelika in this endeavor to prohibit a methadone clinic from locating in Lee County. East Alabama Medical Center, I met with yesterday with Mayor Fuller and with Terry Andrews from East Alabama Medical Center, and they also are joining. We've had discussions with our public safety folks, with our police chief, who has written a letter in opposition as well, citing a number of different cases and scenarios for his reasons for public safety to be opposed. So the council has this in the agenda, and we'll present it tonight.
All right. Under contracts and agreements tonight, advanced disposal services, solid waste disposal service on the agenda tonight, Mayor.
Andy, it is. It's a new contract, not with a new vendor, but it's a renewed contract, I should say. And the site is the transfer station that's located in Opelika. It's just across the city limits line, really, just off of exit at I-85 at $25.09 a ton. That disposal station or transfer station saves a tremendous amount of time and mileage on our trucks. So we just want to keep moving along and try to do a good job on picking the waste up.
Also on the agenda under contracts and agreement, Condry and Associates classification and compensation study, just about $62,500. What's the issue here, Mayor?
Andy, about every 2 to 3 years, and we have had very good working relationship with Condry. They do a highly professional job. We like to know if we're in the ballpark and doing the right thing as far as compensation, whether it be salary and benefits and otherwise. We want to be within the market. We don't want to be too low or too high, and so they do this across the southeast and throughout the region, and they'll help us put in place scenarios. And we got a lot of employees, Andy, in a lot of different disciplines, from police and fire that we talked about earlier to engineers, and as you know, the nearly 500 full-time employees in the city have a tremendous broad range of skill sets. So it's important to, as competitive as it is for good people these days, it's important to know what the right salary mix is.
Thank you for your time as always. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy.